Welcome to CarbonLab, a next-generation learning experience brought to you by SMART, the Sustainable Management Alliance in Research and Training. Presented by highly experienced industry and academic specialists, participants will be guided through an exciting, practical and comprehensive course. This will commence with an overview of what carbon is, an update on the latest climate change science, and why sorting science fact from fiction is critically important. This is followed by a look at the evolution of climate-related legislation and a stocktake of current and emerging policy frameworks that will impact industry now and into the future. Emissions trading is favoured by many economists and policymakers as the most cost-effective instrument to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. CarbonLab participants will gain an in-depth understanding of emissions trading, the supply and demand dynamics of global carbon markets, and, importantly, the opportunities for carbon finance. Empowered with an appreciation of climate change science, policy, and carbon markets, participants embark on a journey to learn and put into action carbon management practices. This begins with an introduction and case study on carbon footprinting, the first step in the carbon management cycle. Participants will experience the ins and outs of compiling a greenhouse gas emissions inventory through a series of scenario-based practical exercises where they are assigned a liable entity operating in the fictitious nation of Tasland. Participants will then learn how to identify, evaluate, and implement various carbon abatement options for their organization. The course will cover a multitude of options that could be considered as part of an organization's strategy to reduce its carbon footprint and improve its financial position. Developing and buying carbon offsets is a complementary and often low-cost option. Participants will be provided with key aspects of carbon offsets policy and practice, such as the types of credible offset standards, calculation methodologies, important concepts, emerging markets for biodiverse carbon offsets, and designing and appraising offset projects. Participants will again take control of their Taslandian company and seek ways to efficiently reduce and offset emissions through the use of best practice project appraisal and marginal abatement cost curves, or MACs. The course will also examine the potential opportunities that an organization can leverage to maximize its competitive advantage. Participants will lead their Tasland liable entity through the final practical exercise, the Carbon Game. The Carbon Game is an exciting and fast-paced group activity whereby all participants representing their Tasland entity compete in a real-time emissions trading simulation with the aim of minimizing their carbon compliance cost through the buying and selling of carbon permits and offsets on the primary auction, secondary, and carbon offset markets.